The station hung in the darkness of space, a metal skeleton orbiting the dying star Ilarion. Its hull reflected the dim red glow of the star, and the hum of life inside was almost drowned out by the constant vibration of energy surging through the station's conduits. Humans and aliens worked side by side, a fragile alliance maintained by the Council, the governing body of the station. But the station had grown tense in recent days. The star was unstable, and strange energy readings had begun to spike unpredictably. Commander Rafe Calder moved quickly through the narrow corridors, his boots making soft echoes against the polished metal floor. He carried a toolkit and a data pad, his mind running through a checklist of repairs that needed to be done. The main conduit had been overloaded, causing minor power fluctuations across the station. While the technicians scrambled to stabilize auxiliary systems, Rafe was the one sent to fix the root problem. He had faced dangerous repairs before, but this was unlike anything he had seen. As he approached the junction, a sharp warning echoed in the corridor. "Commander Calder," a voice said, calm yet firm. "Do not touch me." Rafe looked up and froze. Saris Vek stood there, her alien form rigid, her glowing biosuit faintly pulsating. Her species was known for their volatile energy fields, and her warning was serious. I won't," Rafe said quickly, holding up his hands. "I just need to pass by." Saris's eyes, glowing faintly under her helmet, narrowed slightly. "One touch, and you are dead. Do not test me." Rafe blinked. "Dead?" he asked, unsure whether she meant literally or figuratively. He had heard of alien species with dangerous energy outputs, but none like Saris. Her warning wasn't a threat. It was a literal statement of fact. The corridor hummed as Rafe carefully stepped past her, keeping a safe distance. Still, his curiosity got the better of him. He glanced at the conduit he was supposed to repair and noticed a spike in the energy readings. He frowned. Something about the numbers seemed off. The station's main screen flickered, showing the star's unstable corona. Waves of energy were breaking free, and sensors indicated that the conduit could not handle another surge. If the station lost control, the whole orbiting structure could be destroyed. Rafe's mind raced. He was trained to handle emergencies, but this was beyond routine. Saris stepped closer, her suit glowing brighter. "You should not linger here," she said, her voice steady. "The energy is volatile. One accidental touch could trigger a cascade. Humans are unpredictable around me." Rafe frowned. He had repaired countless conduits and survived far worse, yet he sensed that this warning was genuine. Still, he needed to act fast. He reached for a panel, carefully avoiding Saris's proximity, and began working. As he adjusted the wiring, a sudden surge shot through the system. Sparks leapt from the conduit, and alarms blared. Rafe stumbled backward, and in that instant, his arm brushed against Saris's sleeve. He froze, expecting the worst. The air seemed to crackle, the lights flickered, and a wave of energy pulsed through the corridor. But nothing exploded. Instead, the energy readings on his pad spiked and then stabilized. Saris froze as well, her eyes widening. It reacted differently," she murmured. Rafe blinked. "Differently how?" "You survived," she said. "No one survives that." The two of them stared at each other, a mixture of fear and amazement in the air. The other technicians had gathered at a safe distance, watching the display screens. The readings showed something impossible. A human interaction had altered the unstable energy field in a beneficial way. The Council's emergency communicator buzzed, and the station commander's voice filled the corridor. "Commander Calder, Saris Vek, report immediately to the observation deck. The readings, they are extraordinary." Rafe exchanged a glance with Saris. She nodded slightly, still wary but composed. Together, they moved toward the observation deck, careful not to touch again. The observation deck offered a panoramic view of the star. The red glare of Ilarion bathed the room in an eerie light. Scientists and council members crowded the consoles, all eyes on the fluctuating energy patterns. "Explain," demanded the council chair, an alien with translucent skin that shifted in color with emotion. What just happened? Rafe stepped forward, still cautious. I accidentally made contact with Sergeant Vec while repairing a conduit. Normally, her energy field is highly volatile, and any touch would be lethal. But this time, he gestured to the display. The energy field stabilized. The surge was redirected. A murmur ran through the crowd. Scientists exchanged stunned looks. Saris's glowing eyes softened slightly. A rare sign of acknowledgement. This has never happened, one scientist said, adjusting their visor. Her field has never reacted this way with any species, much less a human. Saris's voice was calm, though tinged with uncertainty. Humans are unusual. Their neural patterns, they interact differently. I do not understand why, but the energy responded positively. The council chair's shifting colors became more intense. Then this changes everything. The star's instability has been accelerating. If this interaction is replicable, it may be the only way to stabilize the station and prevent destruction. Rafe felt a mixture of pride and apprehension. He had always thought humans were clever, but he had never imagined that his species could interface with alien bioenergy in such a direct way. Commander Calder, the chair said, you and Sergeant Vec will work together. You must investigate this further. The star will not wait. Saris's eyes narrowed. Work together? I do not trust humans with my energy. One mistake, and the chair's voice was firm. This is not a choice. The survival of the station, and potentially nearby colonies, depends on it. Rafe swallowed hard. He had faced danger before, but this was unlike anything he had imagined. It wasn't just physical risk. It was about trust, cooperation, and survival. The two moved to a secure lab, away from the observation deck. Rafe studied the equipment, running simulations. Each time Saris's energy field was channeled near a human interface, the data confirmed the same result: stabilization. This is incredible, Rafe said quietly. I've never seen humans react this way to alien energy before. Saris crossed her arms. Do not mistake this for trust. I am still very aware of the danger. Rafe nodded. Understood. But if this works, we may be able to save everyone here. They spent hours running tests, the tension between them growing. Every interaction was cautious, measured, and carefully controlled. The energy readings remained volatile, but with Rafe present, they did not spike dangerously. Meanwhile, outside the station, Ilarion's corona flared unpredictably. Sensors indicated massive waves of radiation approaching the station, threatening to overload the hull's energy shields. The council convened emergency meetings, discussing evacuation plans, but Rafe knew that if the energy could be stabilized, the station might survive intact. Finally, after a long cycle of tests, Saris spoke. There is a pattern. The energy responds to you, human. I do not know why, but it is consistent. Twice the contact, twice the stabilization. Rafe raised an eyebrow. Twice? You mean touching you 2 times might actually? Saris's eyes glimmered. Do not test me. Once more, and... She trailed off. The warning unspoken. Rafe smiled faintly, understanding the weight of her words. It wasn't a threat. It was literal. One wrong move, one miscalculated touch, and the consequences could be fatal. Yet he realized something important. Humans had a unique ability to interact with the unknown, to adapt, and to survive where others could not. The council watched anxiously as they began planning the next steps. Rafe and Saris would need to journey to the most unstable sector of the station, where the star's energy would hit first. Their mission would be dangerous, and the stakes could not have been higher. Rafe looked at Saris, his determination clear. We can do this, he said quietly. Saris studied him for a long moment, then nodded. Perhaps humans are more useful than I thought. As the red glow of Ilarion bathed the lab, a sense of grim purpose settled over them. The station's survival, the lives of its inhabitants, and perhaps the fate of nearby colonies depended on the unlikely partnership between a human and an alien whose energy was deadly to all others. For Rafe, the path forward was clear. Trust was not optional. Adaptation was necessary. And in the face of impossible odds, humans had a way of finding solutions where none seemed possible. The star flared again, more violently this time, sending waves of energy toward the station. Alarms blared, and the floor vibrated beneath their feet. Rafe and Saris exchanged a brief glance. There was no turning back. The first step had been taken, and now the real challenge awaited. And as the red light of the star flickered across their faces, the strange, dangerous, and entirely human ability to survive against the impossible began to shine through. The station held its breath, and somewhere deep in the heart of the unstable star, a silent pulse seemed to respond. The red glare of Ilarion filled the observation deck, as alarms continued to pulse through the station. Commander Rafe Calder and Saris Vec stood over the console, reviewing the latest readings. Each pulse from the star sent ripples of energy that threatened the station's systems. Yet, somehow, the interaction between Rafe and Saris's energy field remained stable, a fragile shield against the chaos. The council had convened a special session to discuss the anomaly. Representatives from multiple species crowded the room, their voices overlapping in a mixture of concern and disbelief. "How is this possible?" one alien scientist asked, his limbs quivering with excitement. "Her energy field has never behaved this way." Rafe rubbed his temples. "I don't fully understand it either," he admitted. "But every time I'm near her, the energy stabilizes. It's like the star itself responds to human touch." Saris's arms were crossed, and her biosuit glimmered faintly. "Do not assume that this is trust. The field is unpredictable. Humans are different. That is all." A technician approached nervously. "Commander, the sensors indicate another spike. It's stronger than before, and it's heading directly for the lower research decks." Rafe's brow furrowed. "If it hits the labs, we lose critical systems. We need to act fast." The council chair's shifting skin intensified. "Then you must go. Take Sergeant Vec and stabilize the conduit at the heart of the station. It's the only chance we have to prevent a catastrophic overload." Rafe glanced at Saris, who merely nodded slightly. She did not need to say anything. He understood. The mission would require them to work together more closely than ever. They moved swiftly through the corridors, each step echoing as the station vibrated beneath them. The conduits had begun to hum louder, the vibrations now almost painful to human ears. Every console along the way displayed energy surges, flashing warnings in red and yellow. "This is worse than I thought," Rafe muttered. "The surge isn't just local. It's spreading through multiple layers of the station." Saris's voice was calm but firm. "Then we must act. You will have to touch me again. Only then can the field channel properly to stabilize the energy." Rafe froze. "Touch you again?" "Yes," Saris said, her glow intensifying slightly. "Do not misunderstand me. It is dangerous. One wrong move." She let the words hang in the air. Rafe swallowed. He had survived dangerous situations before, but this was different. It wasn't a weapon or a fire. It was living energy, wild and unpredictable. And only he could interact with it safely. "All right," he said finally. "We'll do it. But we need to be careful. Every step matters." They reached the main conduit chamber, a large room lined with cables, glowing panels, and humming machinery. Sparks occasionally arced across the walls, as the energy surged unpredictably. The atmosphere was tense, every moment charged with potential disaster. Rafe set his toolkit down and approached Saris cautiously. "Ready?" he asked. Her eyes glimmered. "Do not miscalculate. Once is not enough this time. Twice, and we can channel the energy through the stabilizer." Rafe nodded. He moved closer and placed a hand lightly on her arm. The familiar pulse of energy flowed through him, strong and unpredictable. Then, slowly, He placed his other hand on her shoulder, as instructed. Immediately, the room vibrated with a different rhythm. The sparks along the walls calmed slightly, as though the wild energy was being drawn into a controlled path. The display screens flickered rapidly, showing a dramatic drop in the dangerous spikes. "Steady," Cirrus instructed, her voice calm but commanding. "Maintain the connection. Do not break the flow." Rafe focused, feeling the strange energy pulsing through his hands. It was alive, almost conscious, and yet, it obeyed him. He had no idea why, but for the first time, he understood that humans had a unique ability to adapt to unpredictable phenomena. The Council had predicted stabilization was unlikely, yet here it was happening. The alien scientists leaned over their consoles, jaws dropping as they observed the interaction. "It's incredible," one murmured. "The energy responds specifically to human neural patterns." Ceres's glow intensified, a sign that her field was working in perfect sync with Rafe. "Do not be distracted by their astonishment," she warned. "Concentration is key. Any deviation could cause an overload." Rafe nodded. Understood. They worked in silence. The only sounds, the hum of the conduits and the occasional crackle of energy. Time seemed to stretch as they focused on maintaining the delicate balance. Every second mattered. Suddenly, the energy readings spiked again, far stronger than before. The conduit pulsed violently, threatening to explode. Rafe's hands trembled slightly under the strain, but he held fast. Ceres's energy field flared around them both, reinforcing the human connection. The room shook violently, and alarms blared. Sparks rained down from the ceiling, and panels flickered erratically. Rafe's heart pounded, but he kept his focus. Twice, as Ceres had instructed, his hands connected with her energy field, and slowly, the wild surge began to bend to their control. It was working. "Steady, steady," Ceres murmured, almost to herself. "You are holding it." I did not think it possible." Rafe felt a surge of confidence. "We're not done yet, just a little longer." Outside the chamber, the red glare of Ilarion flared brighter. The star was still volatile, its surface roiling with plasma, but for the first time, the sensors indicated that the station's systems were stabilizing. The dangerous waves of energy were being absorbed and redirected. The council members exchanged astonished glances. "Human adaptability," one whispered. "It's more than just resilience. It's extraordinary." Finally, after what felt like hours, the energy readings plateaued. The violent surges calmed, and the conduits stopped sparking. The room was still humming with residual energy, but it was under control. Rafe slowly removed his hands from Ceres's arms, and the glow around her dimmed to its normal state. Both of them stepped back, breathing heavily. Ceres regarded him silently for a long moment. "Perhaps humans are more than I believed," she said softly. Rafe smiled faintly. "I've been known to surprise a few people." The council chair spoke, his translucent skin pulsing with approval. "You have done the impossible. The station is stabilized. The star's energy has been redirected. Your cooperation has saved thousands of lives." Rafe glanced around at the scientists and council members, who were still staring in disbelief. "It's not just me," he said. "It's a combination. We had to work together." Ceres's eyes softened slightly, a rare display of acknowledgement. "Do not let this lead you to arrogance, human. The energy is still unpredictable. We may have stabilized this surge, but the star is far from calm." Rafe nodded. "I understand. But at least now we know it's possible." The technicians began repairing minor damage caused by the surge, their movements faster now that the immediate danger had passed. The station's systems hummed steadily, a sign that stability had returned, at least for the moment. Outside, Ilarion continued to flare, but the station's shields held firm. The humans and aliens had survived the worst of the energy surge, and a new sense of hope filled the observation deck. The council chair addressed the gathered group. "This discovery changes everything. We now know that human adaptability is not only a matter of survival but may also be critical in interacting with unknown energies. Commander Calder, you and Sergeant Vec will lead further studies to understand this phenomenon. Rafe exchanged a look with Saris. She gave a faint nod, indicating reluctant agreement. Together, they began planning the next steps. Next time, Saris said quietly, we will have to venture closer to the star. The energy spikes are originating near its core. If we do not understand the cause, stabilization here will only be temporary. Rafe's brow furrowed. Closer to the star? That sounds dangerous. Saris's eyes glimmered. It will be. But if we do not act, the station and nearby colonies will be destroyed. Twice the contact, twice the stabilization. That will be required there as well. Rafe swallowed. Then we have no choice. As the station continued its orbit around Ilarion, the bond between human and alien grew stronger, formed not through trust or friendship, but through necessity and survival. Each understood the other's value, and together, they were more capable than either could have imagined. Rafe glanced out at the star, its surface a roiling sea of energy and fire. Somewhere within that chaos lay the source of the anomaly, the reason humans could stabilize what no one else could. And for the first time, he felt a sense of purpose beyond repair and survival. Humans were more than observers in this galaxy. They were active participants in shaping the future, capable of interacting with forces far beyond ordinary comprehension. The station held steady, but the challenge was far from over. The energy would rise again, and when it did, Rafe and Saris would be ready. Together, they had discovered something extraordinary. Humans had the ability to stabilize even the most unpredictable alien forces, and the galaxy had yet to see the full extent of that potential. The first step had been taken. The next journey would take them closer to the star itself, into a zone where few had dared to venture. The stakes were higher than ever, and the future of the station, and perhaps the galaxy, depended on human ingenuity and courage. And as Rafe prepared for the mission ahead, he realized that the strange warning Saris had given him earlier, "Touch me once more and you're dead," had been a challenge, a test of adaptability and resilience. He had passed, but the true test lay ahead, where survival would depend on his ability to work in perfect sync with a being unlike any other. The pulse of the star seemed to echo through the station's walls, a constant reminder of the danger they faced. But for the first time, hope flickered alongside the red glow. Humanity had proven it could rise to the challenge, and the galaxy had just begun to notice. The shuttle hummed softly as it left the station behind, cutting through the red haze of Ilarion's corona. Commander Rafe Calder sat strapped into the pilot's seat, his eyes fixed on the glowing star ahead. Saris Vec sat beside him, her biosuit glowing faintly, casting a soft light in the cockpit. Neither spoke for a while, the weight of the mission pressing heavily on them both. "This is farther than anyone has ever gone," Saris finally said, her voice calm but firm. "The energy near the star's core is unlike anything I have ever encountered. If we are not careful, it will destroy us instantly." Rafe nodded, his hands steady on the controls. "I know. But if we can stabilize it there, we might be able to save not just the station, but the colonies nearby, and maybe even prevent other disasters in the system." Saris's eyes flickered. "You humans, you have a strange ability to remain calm in the face of impossible odds. It is unsettling." Rafe chuckled lightly. "We've had to survive a lot to get this far. Adaptability is part of who we are." The shuttle passed through the outer layers of the star's corona. Streams of plasma and energy arcs danced around them, threatening to pierce the reinforced hull. The sensors beeped constantly, warning of dangerous energy levels. But Rafe kept a steady course. "There," Saris said, pointing toward a faint structure barely visible through the swirling plasma. "Do you see it?" Rafe leaned forward, squinting at the outline. "Is that some kind of station? Or an artifact?" "Ancient," Saris said. "From a civilization long gone. It was designed to interact with living energy. They used it to stabilize stars, but it has been dormant for millennia. Rafe felt a shiver run down his spine. Dormant, but still active? Yes. And it reacts to certain neural patterns. To our knowledge, only a few species can interface with it. Humans are new in this respect. The shuttle approached the structure carefully. Its surface shimmered with strange energy, almost like liquid metal, and arcs of light danced across its hull. As they drew closer, the instruments in the cockpit began to spike with readings far beyond anything the station had detected. "Brace yourself," Saris warned. "We are entering the influence zone." The moment the shuttle crossed the threshold, a pulse of energy surged outward, rocking the vessel violently. Warning lights flashed, and alarms screamed through the cockpit. Rafe gripped the controls tightly, keeping the shuttle steady. Saris's biosuit flared brighter, as though resonating with the ancient structure. "Hold steady," she shouted. "We are being detected." Rafe's heart raced. "Detected? By what?" "The structure," she said. "It is alive in a way. Not conscious, but reactive. It senses energy patterns, and you, humans, trigger a response it has not seen in thousands of years." The shuttle passed through a glowing energy field surrounding the structure, and everything seemed to stabilize. The alarms ceased, and the readings returned to manageable levels. Rafe exhaled, letting his shoulders relax slightly. "It's incredible," he whispered. Saris did not reply. She was already scanning the interior of the structure through the shuttle's instruments. "The core is damaged," she said finally. "If we are to stabilize the star, we must repair it. And that will require human interface." Rafe frowned. "You mean me?" "Yes," she said bluntly. "You are the key. Your neural patterns can synchronize with the structure's energy field. Alone, it would be impossible. Together, we might succeed." Rafe's mind raced. He had faced dangerous missions before, but never anything like this. "What do we have to do?" he asked. Saris turned toward him. "You must guide my energy through the system. Twice. Each contact must be precise. Any miscalculation will overload the structure and destroy us." Rafe swallowed hard. "All right. Let's do it." The shuttle docked with the structure, and the hatch opened with a hiss. They entered a chamber at the heart of the ancient device. The walls pulsed with a strange blue light, and energy lines crisscrossed the floor, walls, and ceiling like a living circuit. The hum of power filled the chamber, vibrating through their bodies. Rafe approached Saris cautiously. "Ready?" She nodded. "Do not misstep. Once is not enough. Twice, and we may channel the energy safely." He placed his hand on her arm, feeling the familiar pulse of energy. The connection was immediate, strong, and almost alive. Rafe felt the flow of power coursing through him, and he adjusted his focus. Guiding it as Saris had instructed, the chamber shivered with energy, and sparks of light danced across the walls. For a moment, Rafe feared they might be overwhelmed, but Saris's field flared, stabilizing the surge. He added his second hand, and the energy seemed to bend to their control. The ancient structure responded, its circuits glowing brighter and more stable than before. "It's working," Rafe breathed. "The energy, it's following us," Saris nodded, her expression serious. "Maintain focus. Any lapse, and we fail." For what felt like hours, they worked in perfect coordination. Rafe guided the flow, and Saris channeled it, their combined energy stabilizing the heart of the structure. The readings on the consoles indicated the star's energy was responding, slowly becoming less volatile. "This is incredible," Rafe said quietly. "Humans, we can actually stabilize this." Saris's eyes softened slightly. "I did not believe it possible. But your species has an unexpected ability. Adaptability. Focus. Resilience. You are capable of more than I imagined." Rafe smiled faintly. It's what humans do. We survive. We adapt. We find solutions where others see only danger. The structure pulsed once, a deep, resonant hum that filled the chamber. Energy lines spread through the walls like veins, reaching out into the star itself. The star's surface, visible through the observation ports, began to calm. Flashes of plasma slowed, and the violent arcs of energy diminished. Saris glanced at Rafe. You have done well, human. But the star is not fully stable. We must remain here until the final alignment. Rafe nodded. Whatever it takes. Time passed in tense silence. The star's energy continued to fluctuate, but each surge was met with their combined control. Rafe felt the strain in his arms and mind, but he did not falter. Saris's steady presence anchored him, guiding the flow, reinforcing the stabilization. Finally, the consoles indicated that the star had reached a stable state. The violent surges ceased, replaced by a steady, manageable pulse. The structure glowed softly, a sign that it had accepted the human interface and was functioning as intended. Saris stepped back, lowering her hands. It is done, she said. The star, it is stable. The structure is fully operational again. Rafe exhaled deeply, letting his hands drop. We did it. The silence of the chamber was broken by the faint hum of the ancient device, now alive and stable. Outside, the star's corona glowed gently, no longer threatening the shuttle or the station. Saris regarded him silently, a rare moment of acknowledgement passing between them. Perhaps humans are not as reckless as I once thought, she said. Rafe chuckled. I'll take that as a compliment. The shuttle returned to the station, carrying with it the knowledge that humans had a unique role in the galaxy, not through brute strength or weaponry, but through adaptability, focus, and the ability to interact with forces that others could not control. The council awaited them, anxious and relieved. The sensors confirmed the star's stability, and the colonies nearby were safe. Scientists and council members crowded the shuttle as it docked, eager to learn about the mission. Rafe and Saris stepped out, tired but triumphant. You did well, the council chair said, his translucent skin shifting in approval. Humans have proven themselves not just survivors, but essential to the balance of this system. Saris looked at Rafe, her expression unreadable. You have exceeded my expectations. But remember, human, this is only the beginning. The galaxy holds many challenges, and not all will be as forgiving. Rafe nodded. I understand. But if humans can stabilize a dying star with you, then we can handle anything, the council members murmured in agreement. The story of the human and the alien who tamed the star spread quickly through the station, becoming a symbol of hope and ingenuity. Later, in the quiet of the lab, Rafe and Saris reviewed the data. The ancient structure had been damaged, but the human interface had restored it to operational status. They both knew that more challenges lay ahead. Other stars, other anomalies, and other unknown forces might require the same combination of human adaptability and alien energy. This was just one star, Rafe said softly. There could be many more out there, waiting for someone to stabilize them. Saris's glow dimmed slightly as she considered his words. Perhaps humans will continue to surprise even the oldest civilizations. For the first time, Rafe realized the true potential of their partnership. Not just for the station, not just for the star, but for the galaxy itself. Humans were capable of things no one had imagined, and together, they could face challenges that no one else could. Outside, Ilarion glowed gently, its surface now calm. The dangerous surges were gone, replaced by a steady pulse of energy, proof that the mission had succeeded. The station floated in orbit, safe for now, a testament to human ingenuity and the delicate cooperation between species. And deep within the ancient structure, the hum of life continued, a silent acknowledgement that humans had earned a place among the forces that shaped the stars. Rafe looked out at the glowing corona, determination shining in his eyes. The mission had been dangerous, but it had also revealed the truth. Humanity was more than survival. Humans had the power to shape the impossible, to interact with the unknown, and to bring stability to chaos. The galaxy had yet to see the full extent of human potential. The shuttle hummed softly as it descended toward the heart of Ilarian's corona. Commander Rafe Calder gripped the controls, his knuckles white, while Saris Vex sat beside him, her biosuit glowing steadily. The ancient structure floated ahead, its circuits alive with energy, waiting for their final intervention. "This is it," Saris said quietly, her eyes scanning the readings. "The final surge. The star's instability has reached a peak. If we fail, the station, the colonies, everything will be destroyed." Rafe swallowed hard. "Then we make sure we don't fail. Twice, right?" Saris's glow intensified. "Twice. Timing, precision, and focus. Any deviation, and we both die. Do not forget that." Rafe nodded. He had survived impossible odds before, but this was different. The stakes were higher than anything he had faced. The energy around them pulsed violently, threatening to tear the shuttle apart. Every instinct told him to panic, but he focused on the task at hand. Humans had a way of surviving in impossible situations, and he intended to prove it. The shuttle docked with the structure, and the airlock hissed open. The chamber beyond glowed with an eerie light, energy lines crisscrossing the walls like living veins. The pulse of the star vibrated through the floor, the hum resonating deep in their bones. Rafe approached Saris cautiously. "Ready?" he asked, his voice steady despite the tension. She nodded. "Do not hesitate. Place your hands carefully. Once is not enough. Twice, and we may succeed." He took a deep breath and touched her arm lightly. The energy pulsed through him instantly, wild and unpredictable, yet familiar. He concentrated, feeling the flow and guiding it as she had taught him. The chamber shuddered with energy, sparks dancing across the walls. "Good," Saris said. "Now, the second touch." Carefully, Rafe placed his other hand on her shoulder. A surge of energy burst through the chamber, almost overwhelming him. The hum of the structure became a roar, the walls vibrating violently. But this time, the energy began to respond. It bent to their control, flowing through them, guided by human adaptability and Saris's precise channeling. The consoles flickered, showing real-time data of the star's energy. The violent spikes were being absorbed, redirected, and stabilized. The ancient structure pulsed, feeding the controlled energy back into the star. "Steady. Steady," Saris murmured, her voice calm but commanding. "Do not falter. Concentrate. Timing is everything." Rafe focused harder than ever. He felt the strain in his arms, his mind, his very being. But he did not let go. Twice the contact. Twice the focus. Twice the synchronization. The energy flowed smoothly now, a river of power bending to their will. Outside, the star's corona roiled violently, but the surges gradually lessened. The plasma arcs slowed, and the violent flashes diminished. The red glare softened, replaced by a steady, golden pulse. The star was stabilizing. Saris's eyes met Rafe's. "You are holding it. I did not think it possible. Humans, you have a gift. Adaptability, resilience, focus. You are extraordinary." Rafe smiled faintly despite the exhaustion. "We did it together. It's not just me. It's what humans do. We survive, adapt, and find solutions where none seem possible." The chamber shuddered one final time, and then the hum of the structure became a soft, steady resonance. The star's energy had calmed completely. The ancient device glowed warmly, fully operational, acknowledging the human interface that had restored it. Rafe and Saris stepped back, breathing heavily. The danger had passed. For the first time in what felt like hours, the chamber was calm. Outside, the star's surface shimmered with a controlled energy, a testament to their success. The shuttle floated safely in the docking bay, and the station's sensors confirmed that the colonies nearby were no longer in danger. Saris looked at Rafe, her expression unreadable for a moment, then softened slightly. Perhaps humans are not as reckless as I once believed. You have surpassed all expectations. Rafe chuckled lightly. I'll take that as a compliment. But I have to admit, I wouldn't have managed this without you. Saris's glow dimmed as she considered his words. It is unusual for a human to remain calm under such circumstances. But you have demonstrated not only resilience, but understanding. That is rare. 17 stand. Rafe glanced at the consoles, reviewing the data. The structure had accepted the human interface fully, stabilizing the star's core. They had succeeded where others would have failed. It was not brute strength or advanced weaponry that had saved the day, it was adaptability, focus, and cooperation. This changes everything, Rafe said softly. Humans have a role in the galaxy beyond what anyone imagined. We can interact with forces no one else can control. Saris nodded. Yes. But remember, human, this is only one star. Many dangers await in the universe, and not all will be so forgiving. Rafe looked out at the golden glow of Ilarion, feeling a mixture of relief and determination. Then we face them. Together, humans and aliens, finding solutions where others see only danger. The shuttle returned to the station, carrying with it the knowledge that humanity had proven its potential. The council greeted them eagerly, checking the readings and confirming the stability of the star. Cheers echoed through the station as sensors indicated the threat had passed. You have done the impossible, the council chair said, his translucent skin shifting with approval. Humans have shown that they are not just survivors, but essential to maintaining the balance of this system. Rafe exchanged a glance with Saris. She gave a faint nod, her own way of acknowledging the success. We succeeded because of trust and coordination. Not power, not technology alone, but the ability to adapt and work together. Saris's glow dimmed further, signaling the end of the high-energy interface. You have earned my respect, human. But remember, the galaxy is vast, and the challenges ahead will test your species in ways you cannot yet imagine. Rafe nodded. Then we'll be ready. Humanity has a way of rising to challenges. Later, in the quiet of the lab, Rafe and Saris reviewed the data. The ancient structure hummed softly, fully functional, and ready to maintain the star's stability. They both knew the mission was a success, but it was only the beginning. Other stars, other anomalies, and unknown forces awaited, and humanity had proven it could meet them. This was just one star, Rafe said, staring at the glowing data streams. There could be many more out there, waiting for someone to stabilize them. Saris's eyes glimmered. And perhaps humans will continue to surprise even the oldest civilizations. Your species is capable of more than I imagined. For the first time, Rafe realized the true potential of their partnership. It was more than survival, it was about shaping the impossible, interacting with forces no one else could manage, and proving that humans had a unique role in the galaxy. Outside, Ilarion's surface glowed steadily, a golden calm replacing the dangerous red chaos from before. The station floated safely in orbit, a testament to human ingenuity and the delicate cooperation between species. The council declared the mission a success, honoring Rafe and Saris for their bravery and skill. The story of the human who had stabilized a dying star with the help of an alien's energy field spread throughout the station, inspiring hope and admiration. In the quiet moments afterward, Rafe and Saris prepared for the next mission. The galaxy was full of unknowns, but humanity had proven itself capable of meeting them head-on. This was just the beginning, Rafe said softly, looking out at the calm star. The galaxy hasn't seen the last of humans. Saris's glow dimmed to a soft, steady light, her way of signaling agreement. No, and perhaps it is time we begin preparing for the challenges ahead. Humans may yet become a force the galaxy cannot ignore. Rafe smiled. Then we move forward, together, And as the golden light of Ilarion bathed the station, a new chapter began. Humanity had proven that it could stabilize the impossible, adapt to the unknown, and rise above challenges that others could not survive. The stars themselves now seemed to acknowledge it, as if waiting for the next human to step forward and show the galaxy what it was capable of. For Rafe, Saris, and humanity, the adventure was far from over. The universe was vast, full of mysteries, and full of challenges that demanded courage, ingenuity, and the unique ability to adapt. And humanity had just begun to shine,